Welcome to another episode of Dirt Road Salvation. I hope everybody is doing very well today. I hope everybody's blessed. And I'm glad to be back with y'all. We've had a relatively long, long hiatus here, but we had some personal affairs to handle. So, oh, just got done cooking a ribeye? Buddy, I'm jealous. I tell you what, I think me and old Tank over here, we're going to be probably having something that's going to be nuclear tonight. It's been a long day. But anyway, where's everybody coming to us from tonight? We're here in just outside Champaign, Illinois, it seems this time. So didn't get a whole lot done. We spent most of our day in the docks at a shipper today. We got hosed trying to find an empty trailer yesterday, and it's been it's been a rough ride, y'all. But it's all right. We're gonna make it through it. So anyway, so tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about what's going on in the trucking industry as of lately. Right now, everything is just crazy and chaotic. The whole world just right now just seems to kind of be off its rocker and just doing some craziness right now. So I know as for me, we had to take some time off. So, but seems like everything's just kind of gotten a little bit crazier since we came back. Price of fuel hasn't dropped any at all. If it has, it's been negligible at best. Definitely been pays around to do your shopping. And oh, Tamarack Beckley, huh? Yeesh. Are you enjoying that Sabaros and that Starbucks that's in there, buddy? Yeah. I try to avoid the Tamarack as much as possible. Them tolls are a little bit pricey for me, but hey, it is what it is, y'all. So anyway, so the big thing that I've noticed lately is just everybody out here is trying to combat these costs. The guys on the spot market, they're seeing their rates kind of drop, and they're seeing the fuel prices increase. Inflation's going nuts. Price of goods are going up. It's just kind of a mixture of where we're just getting smacked on all sides. And hey, there, yep, right there. There's a prime example. Broke down. Ooh, buddy, I hope they get you fixed soon, but hopefully we can keep you entertained until they get there. So, but anyway, so I was pondering over and just going over my usual stuff here and just kind of looking at the prices of things and where our indexes are and what have you. And I was looking at the National Fuel Index currently. And right now, it shows our national fuel average is $5.57 a gallon, which is absolutely outrageous. I thought what I paid today was high, but I did really well. I got it for I think 5.10 on the nose with our discount here. So and boy, those guys on the West Coast, $6.08, and California by itself at $6.50.2. Holy cow. Man, I don't envy those guys in California right now. So, the big thing I've noticed that with all of us trying to succeed here is just, trying to offset these fuel costs. And the biggest thing, like even me, I get a relatively fuel efficient truck, and like we've slowed down as long as time permits. I mean, we're running 60 to 64, trying to split the difference on fuel economy here. But I wanted to pose a question to you guys as to what can we do to offset this? I mean, other than mitigating fuel costs, being smart where we run, watching the terrain where we run, watching our RPMs, our heart, braking gently, things of that nature. I mean, there's only so much that fuel discounts can get us. Um, hey there, Pop Tart, what y'all doing tonight? Y'all doing good? But anyway, so yeah, 573 earlier in West Virginia. That's nuts, y'all. It's just wild. Like something eventually has got to give on all this, y'all. And I really am worried, and I feel for everybody out there who's trying to combat these fuel costs. I mean, like I said, fuel discounts only get us so far, and yeah, it's an operating expense and it's a necessary evil, but it sucks because eventually all of this is going to make its way back and hit us twice because we consume goods, and consumer goods are going to rise with inflation as the cost of diesel fuel goes up. And we were, yeah, quit and sit at home and watch YouTube. Yeah, that's one way to get out of the rat race. But you know, it's a wild time to just to be out here. Like I'm trying to stay optimistic about this and see myself on the other side of this. Like 2-3 years down the line from this. Like I want to survive. I want to survive this. I have full faith knowing that, with the right business practices, the right amount of prayer, and have put my faith in the proper things, I do believe that we can make it through this. But I feel for the people who are, um, you know, the people who are really hurting through this. And it brings up another question, like right now, a lot of people have been asking me, do you think it's a good time to be an owner operator or a company driver? I mean, personally, just looking at the price of diesel fuel, I mean, I feel I'd be giving ill advice if I told somebody to go out and buy a truck right now. At least that's me personally. Um, yeah, trucking's getting bad. It's rough. It's just kind of one of those things. And to me, I don't know if it's just me or the freight that I'm seeing, but it seems like the freight's getting heavier, which is causing those MPGs to drop. So, but I mean, honestly, I had a good friend of mine today. He was looking to come over here where I'm leased at, or leased onto, when he was looking to go through the same place to get his truck that I did. And the advice I gave him is like, dude, right now, like, it's scary to be out here as having your own truck and your own business. Like, it's a scary time. And my advice to him was wait till some of these fuel prices come down and see what happens. Um, and then we got to talking, like, when do we think the fuel will come back down? Personally, if I'm thinking about it, I mean, I'm not trying to turn this into a political talk show, but it to me, I feel like we're gonna be at least till election year before we see some fluctuation or a price coming in, or a plan. Sorry, not a price, but I could be wrong. Let's see. If you're an owner operator, now is the time to put authority in dormancy. You're not wrong. I've heard a lot of people saying that. Like, I predict. Personally, I foresee a lot of people who have their own authority and some higher equipment costs are going to put their authority in dormancy, and they're going to go to like the Schneiders, the Mercers, the Landstars, places, like, excuse me, like, where I'm leased at, where, you know, you don't, you can kind of cut some of your overhead costs and things of that nature and run under somebody else's numbers. Um, and that sucks, man, because I would really hate to see anybody who went through all that work and spent all that money to get their authority active to have to put it in dormancy. But like I said, it's about mitigating risk out here. There's a lot of people that are going to those carriers. Excuse me, y'all. It's allergy season and they're killing me. But on the other hand of this, we've got there is at least a little bit of reprieve. Speaking of putting your authority in dormancy and to going into and leasing onto another carrier, is because like this chart here. This is a fuel surcharge schedule based on the Department of Energy weekly average, and this is a good tidbit of information. It says starts at 0, obviously, and then the fuel surcharge based on that, and then you get down here to where it's about $1.02 a mile, and that's I'm sorry, $1.08 to $1.13. It starts picking up. You get a penny there. So we'll remember that number there at $1.08, because we're going to come back to that here in a minute. But the DOE, their fuel surcharge thing only goes to $5.04 a gallon, and the top dollar there is 5.099 there, and shows that it to be 67 cents per gallon fuel surcharge. Let's see here. Yep, the math: 4.95 a gallon divided by 9.5, 0.68 looks like a win to me. Yeah, buddy, dude, if you're getting 9.5 miles per gallon, dude, keep doing what you're doing. I totally commend you on that. You're not wrong. You're winning at that point. Some of the stuff that I've been hauling that has a fuel surcharge on it, um, has had some really good fuel surcharges on it, and hauling that contract freight has honestly been my saving grace here at USA where I'm at, because they come with a fuel surcharge, and I'm able to bill that fuel back to my customer. Basically, our fuel surcharge right now is paying 100% of my fuel cost at this moment in time. So, like, if you can book yourself right and you can get those loads, it's a night and day difference to be able to actually, try to offset some of those fuel costs. But what I found interesting is I did some digging around the old interweb, and I found this chart here, which shows 1.08 here. All right, so let's remember that 1.08. And then I found this on the OOIDA website, which is a fuel surcharge calculator. And it goes through and it breaks down the fuel surcharge. It says small carriers with direct shippers freight contracts must incorporate a fuel surcharge. Good carriers would typically pass 100% of the fuel surcharge to their leased on owner operators, i.e., people like me, who are leased on. And Mark, okay, you're here at USA. Okay, cool. So you know what I'm talking about. Buddy, I hope you're doing well. Some people are saying it's pretty rough, but I've been off for hiatus for a little bit for some family issues, buddy. So I'm just coming back and getting some things squared away. So anyway, so yeah, it says, so here's the definition. A fuel surcharge is a separate fee or additional fee added above the current contract rate when the cost of fuel exceeds a defined level. Average mile per gallon, average fuel consumption by a loaded rig today's, their numbers say about 6 miles per gallon. So it says fuel price baseline. This is the fuel cost amount that's used to figuring your cost of operation. Average diesel fuel price. You can find that off of the EIA webpage, which is this right here. So we got $5.57 a gallon, and then so says, and it comes out every Monday, and it says today carriers will increase their fuel surcharge 1 penny for every 6-cent increase in diesel fuel prices above their established baseline. It says, for example, if a carrier figures their cost of operation with a fuel price baseline at $2.50 a mile, then they would incorporate a fuel surcharge whenever diesel prices rise above this figure. If the price increases to $2.56 a gallon, the carrier would institute a penny per mile. If the fuel surcharge is $2.62, they would include a 2 penny per mile discharge. And then it goes through to break down the calculation. If anybody else is curious, we'll put some links to these web pages in the bottom here. But anyway, so if we come up here and we go and we use their average, let's see, that fuel index told us 1.08 is when the DOE fuel surcharge is supposed to take effect here, according to the fuel surcharge schedule based on the DOE national weekly average. So we come back here, we got that in there, 6 miles per gallon average. I guess this is an average they pull across the country. Average price of diesel fuel per our Department of Energy printout as of last Monday, 5.571. We're just going to round that to 5.57, and we hit calculate, and that comes up to a fuel surcharge of 75 cents a mile. So at 75 cents a mile, if you take that, right, let's do some math here. If you get, let's see if I can remember how to do this. So if you take, so say my truck gets 7 miles per gallon times 0.75, that means that the customer is paying $5 and that 25 cents, that is going to be covered based on my fuel economy, if that number is correct. So my math may be a little skewed. I'm not a mathematician, but actually, either way, it still works out to where it's really good to have a fuel surcharge. So that's where the price of inflation, I believe, is going to end up rising, because a lot of us in these that have these contracts are going to be passing the fuel cost back down to our customers. So, so I wanted to pose the question: are you guys running more customer freight, or are you guys running on the spot market? Um, a lot of guys I see are jumping ship off the spot market and or selling their equipment or doing whatever they do. I really don't want to see uh, anybody coming out of business, but you know we all got to do what's best for us. So, and I was curious to see what everybody else is doing, is to see what everyone, or what is your carrier doing to ease the pain of all of this, as fuel prices go up. um, I know here at where I'm at USA, they increased our fuel discount from, I believe it was 15 cents a gallon, and it's back up, and they raised it up to 25 cents a gallon. I don't know if they're going to have any further increases in the discount from there. I don't know. I don't work in that department. But on the other note, they also have another. They have a safety bonus now that they're pandering to us, that you get 2% of all the revenue, an additional 2% of all the revenue that you've ran at the end of the month if you don't have any safety violations and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm kind of leery myself of when people start incorporating safety bonuses and things of that nature, because the places I've worked in the past, when they have incorporated those, it's not always worked well in our favor as the drivers. But like I said, I'm trying to be open minded, because just because something happened one place doesn't mean it's going to happen here. So I was curious to see what everybody else's carriers are doing in order to try to ease the pain and the green weenie. Someone's got to grease the green weenie, because they're giving it to us pretty good. So, but another topic I was curious about that I noticed is that I wanted to get everyone's idea of this as to the speed limiters. Oh, hold on. We got a comment here. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to get ahead of you. Let's see. Before fuel got crazy, 99% spot, now 100% contract freight. You're currently only spending 6% of profits on fuel. Without fuel, 34%. Okay. That's not too, I mean, dude, that sounds like pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I was running a lot of the spot market freight last year when everything was super high. I mean, I'd run out west, run back, took some freight out to Oregon, went down into California, ran back across. I ran on the West Coast between, let's see, Oregon, Montana, California, Wyoming, Utah. Ran just kind of around in that general area for about 3 weeks before everything started dropping down. So, but yeah, that is most definitely what I see a lot of people doing. Is we're all, like, especially like me, we're all just kind of fighting for that contract freight, and it's kind of sucks because we're all just fighting and chomping at the bit for the exact same thing. So I really would like to see us, I don't know, I would like to see more contract freight and maybe less than spot market stuff, because some of the spot market freight I've been seeing has been trash, honestly. And with the cost of fuel being what it is, I think the last load that I ran, I took, where did I take it from? I took it out to Nevada, was paying like $7,000 on it. And after everything settled out, the cost of fuel, insurance, plates, everything, truck note, maintenance account, after everything settled out, I think out of 7,000, I was only left with like 25, I believe. I mean, it was after their percentage and everything came out. I mean, I felt like I took a beating on that one and I got hosed. But I mean, all of it was cost of fuel, and there was lots of hills, excuse me, and hollers that we went through. So definitely not good terrain to be running in if you wanted to try to optimize fuel economy. But anyway, so on to, oh, let's see. Okay, absolutely. So That's my man right there. I mean, that, like I said, dude, that's what I want to see is all of us coming together and working as a team, man. Mark, you got the right attitude, buddy. I mean, we're all one team, we're all one fight here. So, there's enough out here for all of us to survive if we can all work together and we can make smart business decisions and lean on one another and really lean into this and to, really come together. We most definitely can get this to work in our favor. But anyway, uh, the next topic here is what is your take on speed limiters? Um, the FMCSA has got another petition going. It says the National Roadway Safety Strategy identified speed as a significant factor in fatal crashes and speed management as a primary tool to reduce serious injuries. The FMCSA understands operating at a safe speed is essential for safe operations and acknowledgement of commercial motor vehicles. Industry currently leverages this technology to increase the driver public safety. Most original equipment manufactured (OEM) has been installing electronic engine control units in CMVs since 2003. The vast majority of CMV operations today are equipped with ECUs. And yada yada yada. We have a bunch more statistical nonsense in here, but the gist of what is going on is the government wants to let's see, off topic, but some kid just went into an elementary school and murdered 18 children and 3 adults. Oh my goodness. Um, wow. That is absolutely insane. Was that the thing that happened? I think I saw an article about that down in Texas, or did that like literally just happen? I mean, I got one breaking news story on my phone here, but I wasn't paying attention. Um, my hearts and prayers go out to the all the families. Once we get off here, I'll say a prayer for everyone involved in that whole thing. That is horrible, horrible, horrible news. um, yeah, that just breaks my heart. I've got my own little babies at home. I couldn't imagine anyone doing anything like that. It's just an evil person doing evil things. But um, uh, wow, that sorry chokes me up there. Anyway, uh, so yeah, the FMCSA wants to start. They haven't specifically specified what they want our speeds to be governed at. They're leaving it open for comments and to be determined at a later date. Um, Personally, as far as my own opinion goes, I 100% am against the speed limiters, only because the um, in the states where you do have split speeds, it is such a it creates congestion, and then you've always got that one guy trying to, you know, ooh, there's always that one guy and that other guy that are trying to race each other, one in the fast lane, one in the slow lane, and they're governed at the same speed, and they're like a tick, one's a tick faster and one's a tick slower, and they'll be battling each other back and forth, back and forth, back and forth for an hour, and neither one of them is smart enough to let off, and then you have just miles and miles and miles of traffic just backing up behind them. I mean, it's just I believe it creates unnecessary and unsafe conditions to be on the road when the trucks are governed at one speed and everybody and all the four-wheelers are out there zooming around at 80, 90. I clocked one on the radar in one of my old trucks at he was doing 120, zoom, gone. I mean, I was doing the speed limit. I was running 70 and a 70 and he just still, you know but I don't know. What's y'all's take on it? I mean, because how are there's gonna be. I mean, I heard a story today on YouTube about I think it was Smart Trucking that had talked about it. Saying that up there in Canada, where when they had back in the day when they had passed all of that, they had this machine that they would plug into people's trucks, and they would it started getting they somehow developed a virus and it was just going around and infecting everybody's trucks, and they got sued and it was swept under the rug. I don't know. I just heard it off the internet today. Like, I personally don't want, someone who isn't a qualified mechanic or myself touching my equipment, working on it. You know, excuse me. Yeah, absolutely, it will slow down the delivery schedule. Yeah, I mean, it if you're running through a 70, 65. I mean, 65, 63, 65 is still relatively productive. I mean, you cut it down any slower than that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I remember when I was, first got my CDL and I was working at the mega carriers, and we were governed at 63 or no, 60, yeah, 63 on the pedal, and uh, 64 on the cruise. And it would take, 9.5, 10 hours, if you were lucky, just to hit 500 miles. I mean, it just, I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be one of those things that's just going to back everybody up. And I don't see it being well. I mean, look how long it takes to get out of California. California, it takes all day to get from LA to the border of Arizona. I mean, and it's not even that far. It'll take an entire day, because I mean, you're doing 55. That's ridiculous. And that was set back decades ago, and they still haven't changed it. I mean, yeah, I get great fuel economy at 55. I get, like, you know, 9 to 10 miles to the gallon at 55 mile an hour, but I get absolutely nothing accomplished. So, let's see, what else did I have here? Um, I believe pretty much that is about all I have for this. So, anybody wants to chime in here? Does anybody want to join? We can come on here, have a conversation. Leave that open for a couple minutes to see if anybody wants to come on. I can put the link in the chat for the invite to see if anybody else wants to check or come in here and they can speak their mind. I'm more than happy, even especially if you have a different viewpoint than I do. I love debating. So, um, so I definitely believe that with everything going on, it is a very, very, we got some rough times ahead of us. And I would like to believe that on the other side of this, we can all get together and we'll be able to get through this. But it, I don't know. So, but yeah, I'd love to hear everybody else's 2 cents on all of this, and oh, sorry guys, I think we're having some technical difficulties here. Whoop, there we go. But all right, Pop Tart, I'll see you later, y'all. I think my camera's about to die, so I'm gonna hop off here. We're starting to have some issues. I believe my camera's about to die, so this is gonna be it. We can get maybe a couple more comments in here, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut this off here. So either that or my camera timed out. That might have been it. It's a new camera we're setting up here, but anyway. So all right, y'all. Well, it looks like everybody's going to bed, and we're gonna cut it off here. Remember, y'all stay safe out there. I want to see y'all in the back hall. Y'all make sure to get back home to your families. I love y'all, and we're gonna cut this off here, and y'all have a good night.